Netflix's Adolescence is the show that everyone is talking about, and for good reason. A gripping, thought-provoking, and at times deeply unsettling drama that doesn't just tell a story, but exposes a chilling reality, filmed in a single-take shot style. This four-part series dives deep into the mind of a teenage murderer, the ripple effects of his actions, and the dark underbelly of toxic online culture. But here's the thing. Adolescence isn't your typical crime drama. There's no shocking twist at the end, no sudden revelations, no neatly wrapped up justice. And that's exactly why it's so hauntingly effective. So today, we're breaking it all down. The ending, the hidden messages, and the real-life issues this show forces us to confront. Oh, and fair warning. This video will contain spoilers. So if you haven't watched Adolescence yet, consider this your heads up. All right, let's get into it. The final episode of Adolescence was unlike anything we expected. Rather than focusing on the crime itself, it peels back the layers of what happens after the headlines fade. We see Jamie's family, normal, everyday people, still dealing with the fallout 13 months after his arrest. And this is where the show truly shines. It doesn't just examine a killer. It examines how one person's actions can destroy an entire family. Jamie's father, Eddie, is the character that hit the hardest. A man who, despite everything his son has done, still clings to some form of love and protection for him. There's a particularly gut-wrenching moment when Eddie receives a birthday card from Jamie, a painful reminder that no matter what, this murderer is still his son. Even worse, he's constantly haunted by the public's perception of him. His van is vandalized, he's threatened, and worst of all, he begins to question if he could have stopped it all from happening. And then comes the phone call. Jamie calls from inside the detention facility, speaking as if nothing has changed. No remorse, no acknowledgement of the devastation he's caused. Just casual small talk. And that's when it really hit he doesn't see the problem. The show hammers home the horrifying reality that evil doesn't always come from a broken home, an abusive parent, or a tragic backstory. Sometimes, evil is just born out of influence, which brings us to our next point. At its core, Adolescence isn't just about one crime. It's about the dangerous ideologies festering in the online world. Jamie Miller is the perfect example of how social media, toxic influencers, and incel culture can shape young, impressionable minds. For those unfamiliar, incels, or involuntary celibates, are an online subculture of men who believe that women owe them love, attention, and sex. They view rejection not as a normal part of life, but as a personal attack. And that mindset is what ultimately drives Jamie's actions. Throughout the show, we see small but crucial signs of his warped thinking. His obsession with whether women find him attractive. His belief that he is the victim, despite committing a horrific crime. His chilling conversation with psychologist Bryony, where he reveals how deeply he hates women who don't give him what he wants. And the most unsettling part? He's not alone. This is a very real issue in today's world, with figures like Andrew Tate and other toxic influencers spreading harmful messages that young boys absorb without even realizing it. The show masterfully exposes this issue without glorifying it, which brings us to another chilling reality that Adolescence highlights. One of the biggest discussions around this show is who is to blame. Is it Jamie, his parents, the internet, society? The answer is all of the above. Both Jamie's father, Eddie, and Detective Inspector Bascom struggle with the same realization. They weren't paying enough attention. Bascom, in particular, has a wake-up call when his own son explains what incels are, revealing just how much he, as a father, had been out of touch with what his child was experiencing. And this is where the show hits its hardest. How many parents are unaware of what their kids are consuming online? How many young boys are watching videos that fuel their anger and insecurities? How many are just one bad influence away from becoming another Jamie Miller? This is why Adolescence is so terrifying. Not because it's fiction, but because it's way too real. Now let's talk about that haunting final moment. The only time we ever hear Katie's voice is through the soundtrack, a cover of Through the Eyes of a Child, sung by the actress who played her. It's a subtle but powerful reminder that Jamie's story, his motives, his influences were explored in depth. But Katie, she was reduced to a statistic, a tragedy, a victim who never got to tell her side. It's a chilling reflection of real-life crime cases, where the perpetrator gets all the attention while the victim is often forgotten. This show makes sure that we don't forget. So what did you think of Adolescence? Did it live up to the hype? Do you think it was effective in exposing these dark realities, or was it too subtle in its message? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns on the biggest shows hitting Netflix. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and keep questioning the world around you. Thanks for watching.